Several churches across the region are suing New York State over gun law restrictions.
This comes after Governor Kathy Hochul and state lawmakers approved a law to limit where guns can be carried, including houses of worship. News 10 NBC's Raven Brown joins us now. And Raven, this suit was put together by a Rochester-based group.
Brett, yeah, more than 24 churches across the state and a nonprofit Christian conservative political advocacy group filed this federal lawsuit, and they say they want the right to be able to protect their loved ones at church.
And looking at it from the perspective of churches who have security teams, and since September 1st, no house of worship is allowed to have a firearm on the presence unless it's a paid professional security team or it's retired or active law enforcement. That's not something that many congregations have.
And now many of them are trying to push back.
There's 25 churches representing 20 counties across the state of New York. And so it's a pretty good spectrum of people from, all the way in Niagara County to Kings County. So it really represents the state well.
Reverend Jason McGuire is the executive director of New Yorkers for Constitutional Freedoms and is also named as a party on the lawsuit.
They're all across the board. We're hearing from churches in Erie County where there has recently been just a tragic shooting out there, and churches there are concerned. We have churches all across the denominational spectrum. Many churches didn't want to come forward and go public for obvious reasons, but there is just a broad interest in this issue.
2 Monroe County churches are also named. McGuire says the rise in threats against houses of worship and church shootings is a major concern.
Well, I'll tell you, if you look at what's happening, even the FBI's own statistics, it indicates that church shootings and church attacks are on the rise. The most recent data, demonstrates that to us. And so it really is important. And the churches that I represent in my community in the last several years have been putting in place volunteer security teams that are often armed, that allow those folks to carry concealed to protect the people in the pew.
And says while there are exemptions in the law for certain people to carry, they do not include trained volunteers.
And I think when whatever judge gets a hold of this, they're going to look at this and say, whenever Governor Kathy Hochul climbs into the pulpit, she has an armed security detail present. Why am I denied that same self-defense? Why are the people in our pews denied the same privilege of protection that Governor Kathy Hochul has?
We did reach out to those 2 local churches named in the suit. One didn't want to comment pending litigation. The other did not get back to us. We also reached out to Governor Hochul's office. They also said no comment on pending litigation, but they did give us more information on who would be exempt from this. You can find all of that in that list on our website, whec.com.